The untold truth about Princess Leonor's rise to power. Fire. A crown. A destiny. A nation watching. But wait. Her rise is not what you think. The truth. It's far more complicated, and far more powerful. Princess Leonor of Spain, the young heir who has captured the imagination of millions, is stepping into history with fire in her veins and weight on her shoulders. The world sees a polished princess, smiling in ceremonies, flawless in speeches. But behind that image is a story untold. A story of pressure, of sacrifice, of resilience, and of a young woman rewriting what it means to inherit a throne. To understand Leonor's rise to power, we must go back to the beginning. Born in Madrid on October 31, 2005, she was not just a daughter. From her very first breath, she was history. As the firstborn child of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, she became the first female heir to the Spanish throne in modern times. But her childhood was never ordinary. Every step, every gesture, every word was measured against her destiny. The palace presented her as a symbol of continuity. The little girl waving from balconies, the shy smile, the neat school uniforms. But behind the photographs, Leonor's life was a carefully orchestrated training ground. From early on, she was taught languages, diplomacy, history, and etiquette. Imagine being a child, but every mistake immortalized. Every laugh, every slip, analyzed as a reflection of a nation's future. That was Leonor's reality. Her rise to power truly began to take shape when she gave her first public speech at just 13 years old. Standing tall, her voice calm yet strong, she spoke words carefully chosen to reflect unity and hope. It wasn't just a child reading lines. It was the nation's first glimpse of their future queen. And in that moment, people began to realize, Leonor was more than prepared. She was determined. But here's the untold truth. Her path was never simply about preparation. It was about survival. The Spanish monarchy has been fragile for decades. Scandals from past kings, whispers of corruption, and rising Republican movements created a dangerous backdrop for Leonor's rise. The palace knew one thing clearly: if the monarchy had a future, it rested on the young princess. Leonor was not just being raised as a queen. She was being forged as the monarchy's last hope. This is why, in 2023, her military training became such a pivotal moment. Dressed in uniform, marching with precision, firing weapons, enduring harsh drills, she was no longer simply a princess in gowns and jewels. She became a soldier, a commander in training, embodying discipline and sacrifice. The symbolism was clear: Leonor was not just inheriting a throne. She was preparing to defend it. And Spain, watching her dedication, began to see her differently. She wasn't distant royalty, she was one of them. But let's pause and ask, at what cost? For Leonor, every step toward power is a step away from personal freedom. Who are her friends? What are her dreams? What does she laugh about when the cameras are gone? Few know, because the truth is, her life is not her own. Every choice, from education to relationships, is shaped by duty. The untold story of her rise is also the story of sacrifice, sacrifices the public rarely sees. And here lies the tension. Queen Letizia, protective to her core, has fought fiercely to shield her daughter from mistakes. She wants Leonor to succeed but also fears what the throne will take from her. King Felipe, more reserved, pushes her toward responsibility, reminding her that every monarch must carry their burden alone. Between their love and their expectations, Leonor walks a razor's edge, balancing duty and identity, family and nation. Now, consider the political storms surrounding her. Spain is a divided country when it comes to monarchy. Some see Leonor as hope, a modern young woman who could bring respect back to the crown. Others see her as a relic of the past, a symbol of privilege in an age demanding equality. Her rise to power is not just about readiness. It is about proving, every single day, that she deserves the place she was born into. One wrong step, one scandal, one misplaced word, and the institution itself could crumble. But here's where Leonor surprises everyone. Despite the weight, despite the dangers, she has shown a remarkable ability to connect. At her public events, people notice her composure, her warmth, her presence. She does not seem rehearsed. She seems authentic. And that authenticity, in a world tired of formality, could be her greatest weapon. Still, the untold truth lingers. Leonor's rise is not just about politics and image. It is also about love. History warns us, love has broken monarchies before. Will Leonor be allowed to choose freely, or will her heart be bound by the chains of tradition? Every young woman dreams of love, but for Leonor, love could become her greatest risk, or her greatest strength. The palace remains silent, but the whispers grow. Who will walk beside her when she wears the crown? And what about her sister, Infanta Sofia? While Leonor takes the spotlight, Sofia lives just outside of it. But some insiders wonder, will this dynamic create support or rivalry? Sisters often share dreams, but they also share burdens. For Leonor, Sofia may be her closest confidant, or the one person who understands the pressure most deeply. As Leonor rises, comparisons swirl. Some see shades of Queen Elizabeth II in her discipline. Others see Princess Diana's vulnerability in her eyes. A few even compare her to Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden, another woman destined to inherit a throne in a skeptical world. These comparisons are not random. They reveal a larger truth. Leonor's rise is not isolated. It is part of a global story of modern royals balancing tradition with change, love with duty, self with sacrifice. The untold truth about Leonor's rise is that it is both inspiring and terrifying. Inspiring, because she embodies a generation that is strong, independent, and unafraid of change. Terrifying, because the cost of her destiny could be her freedom, her joy, even her identity. For Leonor, the crown is not just a jewel. It is a burden, and every day, she walks closer to wearing it. So where does this leave us? With a young woman standing at history's door. A princess who is more than a symbol. A future queen who carries both hope and danger in her rise. Spain is watching. Europe is watching. The world is watching. Because Leonor's journey is not just about Spain. It is about the very future of monarchy in the modern age. The cameras show us a polished image. But the untold truth. Behind the smile, behind the discipline, behind the ceremony, there is a girl becoming a queen. And her rise to power is more complex, more dangerous, and more human than anyone dares to admit. Because for Princess Leonor, the throne is not the end of her story. It is the greatest test of her life.